to actually choose purpose over preference?
Yes, but I'm actually working on it. And you and all of my friends are like, you need to just be, maybe you might need an ugly dude. I don't believe the Lord created all the super fine men with no morals.
I'm on a journey to discover, uncover, and recover love. Now, as a national playwright, I've penned dozens of shows about relationships. As a filmmaker, I've documented the most beautiful committal of lovers at weddings. And as a divorcee, I know firsthand the brevity of marriage and the pain of its loss. I'm Laterisar Whitfield, and welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. On the show today, I have my good buddy. She's a divorcee, a single mother of one, and a middle school principal. So you know she sees a lot in middle school. Welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast, my good friend, Rickyl Wesson. What's up? What's up, girl?
What's happening? I like you turn your little voice on.
What, my little voice? That's my little
Welcome
sexy.
to the Dear Future Wifey podcast.
That's because I be trying to be sexy a little bit.
Oh.
You know, so you got to talk like this.
Okay.
That's why I do that. So, Rickyl, we have a lot of conversations on the phone. We've talked about everything, and it's always after something that has happened to you traumatically. And so we're going to talk. One of the things I always pick at you about is that I think you have a bad picker. I think you picked the wrong dudes. So today, I know you rolling your eyes. I know you rolling your eyes. Hey, it's the truth. See, oftentimes I believe that we often choose based on preference, based upon the way he looks, the way she looks, what type of job they have. But we don't really choose on purpose how they fit into our life to the ultimate scheme of what God has called us to accomplish in life, the things that we want to pursue in life. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to challenge your belief a little bit. Is that all right?
That's fine. You know, I'm going to always stick to
what?
What I believe.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So let's talk. Okay, so you've been married before, right?
Yes.
Okay. How long ago have you been divorced?
Ooh, it feels like eternity. But 3 years.
You've been divorced for 3 years, and how long were you married?
Legally, 4 years.
Legally 4 years.
Together 3. We were
6 months
together
later.
for 6 years total.
6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, this guy, were you in love with him when you got married to him?
I loved him.
So you loved him.
I was in love with him before.
Before you got married?
But things started happening. So it's really hard to describe when you think about the definition of love and in love. So I was in love with his potential, of what I knew that he could be, but that wasn't who he was at the time.
All right, so when you look at this thing, does he fit in your typical, what you normally choose as far as appearance?
Yes.
Okay, so you chose him because he looked good, and that's what you're attracted to, right?
Well, of course, I want to be attracted to him. I want to be like, ooh, that's me. But I was attracted. I knew him, so it was familiar. We had fun. I knew his family. So let's be clear, like, it was not a situation where it was a bad thing. He's not a bad person. But that's what was attracted to him, was familiarity, comfort. Like, going into a relationship, I don't have to really get to know you. I know who you are. And we had a lot of fun. I will tell you that I feel like that he is owed an apology. So when I say I feel like I owe him an apology, I feel like I owe him an apology because I knew in that moment we weren't supposed to be getting married.
Really?
Not to say we couldn't have gotten married 3, 4, 5 years later, but August the 3rd of 2012, I knew from where I was in life, even where my career was kind of where it was cool at the time, that he was not ready to be who I needed him to be. Was he a good person? Yes. Was he fun? Yes. Did we have fun? But what I was looking for in a husband was not there, and I knew that. And so instead of trying to force my beliefs on you, force you to do this in your career, or force you to do all these kind of things, I owe him an apology for that, because then you go into it with expectations of something that you knew wasn't there.
Fast forward. So you decided you got into a relationship. How long did it take after your marriage to get into another relationship or to start even dating? Or
Well, you know what they say, like the first time you like talk to a dude after you get a divorce is like tragic.
Yeah.
So probably like I started entertaining somebody prematurely like December, so 6 months. So from like June to December. But it was just entertainment. He was awful. Yeah.
Was he your preference?
No.
He didn't look the way
He
you
was
like him?
nothing that I would normally ever entertain. One of my friends was like, girl, just give him a chance. And I'm like, he ain't really mean, you know, But, you know, in this time, and then, you know, my husband had somebody, and so I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But I know now that I should not have entertained that. But when you talk about like a real serious relationship where I'm your girl, you my dude, it was a year.
A year. All right. And have you been in love since you've been married?
Absolutely.
Okay. Was it just the one time that I know about? Was it a couple times?
The one time when I couldn't breathe or eat or sleep.
You couldn't eat. You couldn't go to work. You sitting up here on an involuntary fast.
Man.
Let me tell you what happened in that situation. And this is a long distance. So I got to do this in the future. Is have a whole podcast episode talking about long distance relationships. So this was a long distance relationship. You fell in love.
Well, I loved him.
Before that?
Back in 2009, 2010, before my marriage.
Oh, okay. This throwback love. All right. We're going to have an episode called Throwback Love.
Whatever.
That's another thing. So this is throwback love. You loved him before you were ever married.
Yeah.
And so when he came back into your life, you just felt like it was God's answered prayer. And what happened?
I mean, I loved him. I will always love him. I really can't tell you what happened. I think it was a lot of misunderstandings. Distance played a part. But let's be clear. In the beginning, I was perfectly okay with the distance because I was coming out of something where I was in somebody's presence every day. So, you know, this is a relationship where I don't have to see this person every day while I'm still healing, right? Because I am still healing because it's a process.
Yeah.
So while I'm still healing, my baby had kind of went through some things during our transition from my marriage. So it was kind of like, it was comfortable. I know you. I'm comfortable with you. I've loved you since 2010. You're back into my life. So it's kind of like, or not ordained, but it's just this is full circle here.
Yeah.
But I think that for me, I might not have been as honest about, you know, you don't want to ever come off like you need to be saved. So you don't necessarily talk about how bad you were hurt.
Of course.
So I think I kind of left off a little bit about how I really, really was hurting.
Yeah.
And then after a while, distance kind of played a huge part in it. I think I came off potentially ungrateful.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never intended to come off that way. But like I said, without just talking about it, because I do care about him. So I can't really tell you what happened. I'm normally a fighter. So whenever something happens in a relationship, I always try to like kind of fight for it. But coming out of my marriage, if I felt like the fighting wasn't mutual or it didn't look like I thought it should look like, I kind of like matched energy. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bounce too.
Matching energy.
But I never match energy. And so for me, when I was hurt and couldn't sleep and couldn't, you know, I was out of there, right? Couldn't go to work. And people were like, you didn't go to work.
Oh, my God.
You knew I was hurt.
Yeah, because notice that you were talking about at the beginning, when you were married, you loved to work. You loved to advance. And here it is. This guy took the oxygen from your body.
Right. And I don't want it to seem like he was a bad person.
No, it's just certain stuff just don't work out.
It hurt really bad. And I think it hurt me more because I felt like, what could I have done differently? Because the not fight was not normally me. So I'm like, okay, well, if it ended, let me end on knowing I did what I would normally do. I didn't do what I would normally do. So that's nothing that was eating me up. Like, dang, well, what if I would have done this? Or what if I would have called? Or what if I would have said this? And, then we came back together and then it was just like, but then I just was like,
yeah, I mean, you tried.
To the bone.
Yeah, you tried. And the thing about it is I always believe that we should show effort in reclaiming love or, if there's been a tiff or whatever. But you can't be fighting harder for them than they are for you.
But I think that fight looks different for people.
No, no.
I'm not saying that he was fighting.
I know it.
I'm just saying that.
And that's what I'm talking about specifically. Yes, fighting does look differently, but no one has to question whether or not you're fighting. Like if me and you got into a fight, or me and my son over there that's on the camera, and we got in a fight and he's standing there with his arms down and I'm swinging at him, you're going to say, Laterice, you're beating him up. Why are you hitting him? And I'd be like, well, we fighting. You was like, he's not even hitting you back. He's not even, what are you talking about? And I'm like, but that's what a fight is. I'm just getting all my good licks in. You'd be like, no, you fighting to help this person.
Right.
What happened is that oftentimes in relationships, we say, we give the other person a pass and say, fight looks different. No, we know what pursuit looks like. We see it in Pepe Le Pew in a cartoon from way back then all the way to Steve Urkel pursuing Laura, and he's saying, I'm wearing you down. We know what pursuit looks like. Oftentimes we give people a pass and little effort and say, what if I tried this harder? What if I tried this harder? And
but I don't think when I say, what if I would have done this, I would expect for the other person to do something for me when I'm a competitor. You know that.
Yes.
So whenever something happens, I want to be able to say, I did everything I did. Yeah. Everything that I could have done. And so
what else could you have done?
In the book, at one point, I didn't say nothing either. And that's not me. That's what I'm saying. But like I said, I'm not making any excuses for anybody. I'm just saying, I know that my first reaction wasn't Rickyl. That's what I'm saying. And
then when you came back, then do you have a pass on that? Came back into the picture, still didn't work out.
We good.
Okay. Do you feel released? Do you feel like you tried everything in your power?
The second time, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it still didn't work out.
But that's okay.
Okay. So all I want you to know is that I want you to be free that you tried.
You say I get up now, I get dressed, I go to work, I'm eating.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no. I will always love him. Nice little
promotion, got a new job and stuff. Look at you.
I will always love him though.
So listen to that, because you said that and I want to touch on this and I'm glad you said it again. Why do we make these sacred vows and say, I will always love this person? Mm-hmm. Do you, because I'm always careful about saying that because I'm creating a covenant with somebody that I say I will always love this person, and then you get with somebody else, and subconsciously what you don't realize, especially if you still have this always love for this other person, then the other person is battling with a ghost.
I don't believe that.
Shoot.
I didn't say I'm gonna always be in love with him.
I will always
have love for him. I will always care about him.
I guess that may be a little agreeable.
Come on.
No, this is good stuff because this is what we're talking about because this is preference.
It is not an inappropriate love. It is not a love that will stop me from loving somebody else.
Could he get you back? Could he get you back?
Don't do that.
Could he get you back?
Don't do that. It's the type of love that taught me something.
That's good.
It's the type of love that I grew from. It's the type of love that...
You still stuck on that question?
I would go into, whenever I go into another relationship,
you would take what you learned from this,
yes,
and you apply the strengths and weaknesses that you had in the past relationship,
right,
and make the next one work.
And yes, and I will always go out with my type of fight.
So Rickyl, what season are you in right now? Are you open to dating, or where are you at right now?
I'm in a comfortable, happy, I love Rickyl season.
Okay.
It looks different for me because I've never really been comfortable being by myself. And I think it comes, once I started going to counseling, we started talking about a lot of things. And I think it comes from growing up between two sets of twins.
Well, first of all, I applaud you in doing the work and going to counseling. I don't think that's talked about enough. I don't think it's addressed enough. I don't think it's promoted enough.
Yep.
And so congratulations on going through counseling. I've been
Thank
through a lot of counseling in my life, and it's helped me tremendously. What is your preference? What have you found to be your preference?
Man, I mean, he got to look so good that you be like, oh, like that double take, like, oh. That's what I like. And it's awful. It's so bad.
So you found the guys you typically choose are those head turner dudes.
Head turners to me. Now my friends, like, you crying over him, I mean, he looks average. But I'm like, he look good to me. Like, he fine to me.
So name a celebrity that you say so we can get so the listeners can get a viewpoint of an example of what you call head turner good looking.
I think Lorenz Tate is
Lorenz
just like
Tate?
head turner good looking.
Okay.
Of course, Idris Elba, but I probably wouldn't go for him. Like,
why not?
He's like well, first of all, I would never beat him, but he's like one of the ones you like, he too fine.
So there's limits to it. So if he's too fine, you don't want him.
I mean, like, I would assume, like, I would just be like, he just looks real good, you know? But, like, Lorenz Tate, he just, like I like him, like, kind of slim face, Ivy kind of look, but he kind of got a little.
Does Morris Chestnut fit the criteria?
He all right.
He all right. So Morris Chestnut is all right, and that's one of the dudes that
he's really fine. Like, don't make these celebrities be watching this and be like, "Who is she?" to say I'm all right. No, he's cute.
Celebrities get talked about all the time. I mean, we celebrities, we get talked about.
Oh, you a celebrity?
Yeah, I'm a
Get out.
celebrity. We get talked about all the time. We get.
I mean, Morris Chestnut is cute, but like, if somebody said you can go on a date right now with any celebrity, I would want to go on a date with Lorenz Tate if he wasn't married, because I don't do married men. And the guy that was on the New Edition story, Keith Powers, that's his name, Keith Powers.
Oh, yeah, let me see.
Keith Powers is so cute.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Young. And Brashear Gray is cute too.
What would you say, Rickyl?
I mean, I probably would be like, I don't know, something silly. You know, I'm crazy, so I would kind of like show my personality, like, you really are handsome, something like that, or.
So you ain't the type of girl that try to play shy. Does he fit the type of guys that you typically like?
Off outer appearance, yes.
On outer appearance. Mm-hmm. Do you find that you choose on outer appearance before you choose
way too much? I mean, what else could you choose from in the beginning? Initially, that's all I know. Like, if we're standing in a room and you're over there and I'm over here, outer appearance is all that I can see.
Of course.
So the problem with me comes with...
You give them a pass based on outer appearance.
What?
Exactly. We talked about this one day. Give the example that you get.
Okay, so like, it drives me nuts if I give a guy my number and the next day he's like, hey, babe, drives me nuts. Like, I'm not your baby.
If it's a guy that you're...
it's a guy that's like...
Average looking to you.
But if he's like a
head turner, then he texts you next day.
I'm like, hey, like, I'm on it, and that's awful. Like, I have to learn how to. If this is what I don't like, I have to like it no matter what they look like.
Yeah, equal opportunity.
Right.
Treat everybody equal.
And I'm working on that. Like, in real life, working on that.
So do you find yourself, if a guy is very good looking, you have a higher level of patience with him and you accept more of his junk versus a guy that's not, I'll say, average by your standard?
Yeah.
So in counseling, has that been addressed?
Absolutely.
So will you choose differently? Are you at the point in your life right now? And of course, right now, you're not even entertaining anybody to be dating right now. But once you get to that point, are you going to choose purpose over preference?
Yes, but it is literally like a serious work in progress. Like, I am seriously praying, and I don't want to seem vain or anything, but I have my personality is very, very attracted to nice looks. And so I'm really praying, like, okay, God, either you going to put the man that you created and stirred him up and he looks head-turning good and he embodies all of this, or you're going to give me the wisdom to not be so foolish, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
To be so foolish to look at silly things and pass up people that will potentially treat me like a queen or make me feel secure outside of finances, make me feel like I'm the best thing to happen.
Is that what you really want?
You. I do. I want to, like, I work with one of my she's my good friend now, Tish Johnson.
Yeah.
I think I told you this before. Like, I can tell, like, she really digs her dude. Like,
you said that.
When she says, I can't wait to get home, like, I believe it. And honestly, I never said that. Never said that in my marriage. But you
couldn't wait to get home.
Right. And so when I'm looking at her, and I don't envy anybody because I know things come.
Yeah,
you know,
people
she
have
has her things or whatever. But when that time comes for me,
you want to say,
I want
to
be able to, you know, hang up with a parent that's cussing me out and I can't cuss them back out, and want to be like, I can't wait to see my dude.
That's good.
Like, I can't wait for him to make me feel better, and we ain't got to say nothing to each other.
Just be in each other's presence.
Right.
I didn't know that you got to this level. You got to this level in the last 30 minutes because at first to choose to actually choose purpose over preference.
Yes, but I'm actually working on it. And you and all of my friends are like, you need to just be, maybe you might need an ugly dude. I don't believe the Lord created all the super fine men with no morals. I don't believe that.
I didn't say you need to be with an ugly dude. I'm saying that you need to choose. It shouldn't be so much focus on
it should not.
Looks.
It should not. It should not. But I know that I give passes.
And let me tell you something. On my journey, listen, I'm on this journey with you. I'm on the same journey where I want to remarry, and I want to make sure that I'm choosing what we always hear us a lot about God's best for us, but I truly want God's best because I know that I have friends, when I watch them get married, I watch how their life just explodes on a different level. I'm going to have my boy Kawan Burton and his wife London on the podcast soon. And I'm going to call and reach out to them. But I watched how his life, when they link up so well. You know, she has her own clothing line. He's a photographer. He's gotten into videography. They have these blogs that they're doing. When you link up with the right person at the right time,
everything happens.
It happens, and it's amazing.
When you ask me where I am right now, for me, I struggle with dating because I'm trying to figure out, like, I feel like my personality is read completely wrong until people get to know me. Like, you just see this loud, fun, like this personality that I guess clearly, now that people tell me, that it comes off like very, not overbearing, but it's a big personality.
Yeah.
And so they think I'm high maintenance, and I'm like, dude.
No, you're not high maintenance.
My ideal date is a picnic.
Yeah.
With Henderson's chicken and a blanket and Big Red and a snow cone and spades.
Brothers out there, there it is. That's all you got to do. Get you about $10 and go make it happen.
But so on top of me not judging incorrectly, I pray for people not to judge me incorrectly and think you have to come with all this high dollar type things. That's not what I want.
So in this process, are you trying to learn balance?
I don't have a problem balancing. I had to tell the guy that the other day. He's like, you too busy. I'm not in a relationship. When I'm dating somebody, I will date them and I will prioritize them. Right now, I'm not dating anybody, so I can procrastinate and stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning if I want to. I don't have to prioritize anybody right now but Kaden, because that's where I am. Before, when I self-evaluated, I realized that I prayed for the things that I didn't like in somebody else. So if I didn't like the way them and their mama interacted, I'm going to pray for XYZ. I don't really care if you have a kid or not. But since this relationship was horrible because you had a kid, I'm going to pray for a man without kids. Not because it's what I truly want, but because it was traumatizing over here.
That's good.
So my prayers now shifted to what I truly want, no matter how different things affected me in past relationships. So when I could write on Facebook, this is the man of my prayers. He was the man of those particular prayers based off of that other relationship, not based off of me.
Oh, gosh, you making prayers based upon trauma and pain of the past.
And not about what I truly want.
You making prayers based upon the pain, but not based upon the purpose.
How I know that I'm not ready to date is if you told me, Rickyl, I have magic powers and I can put together the man of your dream. I can't even tell you what to put in that man. right now. I couldn't even tell you what to like throw in him to make him. If you told me I can create the ideal man for you, I wouldn't be able to tell you what to put in him.
You know what's so good about that? I think that's a great, transparent statement. And that's the perfect place for God to rebuild you in. You might not even know what you want, but you're going to know what you don't want. And when somebody
now, I know what I don't want today. Okay. I do know these things. I want honesty, loyalty.
100.
God-fearing, family-oriented.
What does God-fearing look like? We say this nice little
It sounds good, right? For me, I don't need you don't have to necessarily be like, how you doing today? Blessed and highly favored. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. But I'm looking for
walking in God's anointing.
I'm not actually looking for anything. But what I would like would be for somebody who wants his family to go to church. But you don't have to be in a certain tax bracket. Yeah. I can make more money than you, that's fine. But do you make me feel secure?
There it is.
And then the biggest thing, the last one is in forgiveness. Are you able to forgive? Because we're going to mess up. We're not talking about we're going to cheat.
I know we know that's
we're going to mess up.
Non-negotiable.
We're going to make each other mad. I think forgiveness goes with fight. Will you fight for me?
Will you fight for me?
Yeah, I've asked somebody that before when they fight for me, they were like, you just got to wait to figure it out. And I ain't, I'm still waiting.
Waiting for the fight. Waiting for the ding, ding,
yeah.
ding.
So those are the things. But as far as like all the other things.
So how you going to sit there and say you don't know what you want then?
I know I want those things, but I don't.
But that is the thing. See, oftentimes that is the thing. It's just
I don't even know what it looks like. That's what I'm saying.
You don't need to know what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It's everything you said. What you keep talking about looks like is the outward appearance.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I am praying that this person that has these like 5 things, when I see them, I'm like, oh, God, thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. You love me. You really do love me.
I don't believe he stopped making handsome men that are honest, loyal, God-fearing, family-oriented, financially stable, and forgiving. I don't believe he didn't create anybody like that.
He got a lot of them out there, and that's one thing.
And a lot of them are already married.
Yes, but I think there's a lot of men too out there, and I'm gonna have a lot more men on the podcast to start displaying some of these good brothers out there, because there's a lot of good brothers that I believe that a lot of good women are overlooking. I want to set up situations where I can introduce these people, because it's some men out there that really are purposeful and purpose driven, and they want a good wife. They're going to be loyal, faithful, and adore you. Rickyl, I enjoyed talking to you today on the Dear Future Wifey podcast. Give it up for Rickyl Wesson, y'all.
Thank you so much.
Man, I really enjoyed having this conversation with my good friend Rickyl. Now allow me to manifest my future. Dear Future Wifey, on this beautiful path to you, I'm intentionally challenging my ideology of preferences versus purpose. Throughout the years, society has brainwashed me by standards of beauty, preferences of age, body type, social media followers, you name it. In all honesty, I don't want my relevancy of you to be tainted by likes and heart taps. I desire for you to tap into my life on a frequency that effortlessly engages the fulfillment of our purpose. Girl, I know I'm better with you. You're better with me. The Bible declares 1 can chase away 1,000 demons, but 2 can set 10,000 demons to flight. That's the real meaning of catch flights, not feelings. I'm excited to know the great exploits we will accomplish through our union. Until then, I will continue to seek God's purpose over my preference, so I don't miss choosing you, your future hubby. Thank you for listening to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. Remember, be lit, live intentionally and transparently, and don't stop loving. Make sure to subscribe to our Dear Future Wifey YouTube channel. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. We welcome your support. Simply share our podcast with your friends and family.